So in 2021, I decided, I think I can take a break from employment. Not because I had plan, no, I just felt tired of employment. So whether I had money or not, I did not have a plan, by the way. I remember telling guys, see what you save at 1 year. So just go with the flow. So I was like, first I'll have to look for ways of beefing up income. So maybe host a bit more trips, try and do more marketing. And I just traveled for a year, and it was really nice. I hosted people. That's when I hosted yours. It was within the 1.5 year breaks. So it was very. My parents were like, serious.
Being seen, being heard, and just being a movement in your own way.
So anyway, hi Wildies. Welcome back to Wild Woman Escapades, our channel, right? Today we have Flanure. Flanure is a host in travel, right?
Yes.
Tell us what Flanure means.
Do you know Njaki?
Kwanza, you have to teach people how to pronounce it.
I know.
Flanure.
We people from the mountain, especially.
Flanure. Guys, so it's Flanure.
Flanure.
With an at the end. Flanure.
Flanure.
Yeah, so Flanure is a French word.
Okay.
And it means somebody who saunters, travels, moves around because they have the time and leisure to do it. So I bumped upon it in, have you guys heard of a writer called Elizabeth Gilbert?
No.
She's a very cool writer. I'll share with you guys her page and her books. So she was just talking about how back in the day, her and her friends couldn't travel as much. She had just gone through a divorce. Her friend had young babies, so they couldn't travel. But then now, many years later, they're in Paris, two ladies, and just living their best lives. The kids have grown, the divorce has now healed. And she's like, the men kept calling them Flanures. And they're like, oh my God, we've made it. Because they can refer to us as men who are traveling because they have the time and luxury to do it. So as soon as I got the word, I was like, Pop, this is it. This is the way forward. Yes, I'm like manifesting, moving around with ease, having the time.
And we've seen it. We've seen it.
Before we continue, let us introduce ourselves. I'm your host, Violet, and our co-host,
Njokindongo.
the pretty Njokindongo.
Yes.
Yeah, and today's conversation we are talking about women in travel, right?
Yes.
The women who are doing amazing things out here, breaking barriers, carving the paths, solo travel. And Flanure being one of the women who hosts a lot of women trips, right? So Flanure, tell me, how did you get into hosting trips and especially girlies?
Okay, so as I was saying, when I started Flanure, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started with writing a blog because I was like, I've traveled, people don't know about my travel, so let me write a blog. But then I'm like, if I have a blog, then I can't use my personal page to hype it. So I was like, let me create an Instagram page to hype the blog. So at that time, it was around when COVID had funguka. Do you remember that time? Was it June or July when Uhuru said finally you can move from Nairobi? So I moved to the coast immediately. Let us waste time. I've never been to Lamu, so I was like, let me put up a poster and see if people want to come to Lamu. So I got a few friends. Actually, that time I think we were 5 girls and 1 guy. So after that, we let
the
other.
Is that the one that I came to?
No, Lamu. The one you came to was the 4th or 5th Lamu.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
This was 2020.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's how it started. So I didn't even know I was going to host trips. It just came naturally by putting content out there and people believing in your authenticity to be able to host.
Before we continue, let's get us some food, right?
Yes.
Let's get the menus so we can get something to eat. Ndo mufunguke. Mushibe. Mpate energy.
Tufukuze H. Pylori.
Yeah, the host to the most.
Thank you.
Then you can find something that you'd like to eat,
Yes.
And then you come back. Thank you.
Me?
Yeah.
I would do thank you again.
Thank you. This is how you say thank you.
Thank you. Welcome is.
Welcome.
Oh, these
Out
or these.
in. Out in.
Out in.
Yes. And then you say, please. This is
Please.
please and this is sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Easy to right now to say
Sorry. Okay. Miss DJ.
Gosh. So before, traveling used to be like a man's thing. And it's mostly because I think men used to travel a lot for work, and that was expected for men. And mostly women were expected to be at home. So very less women were traveling. And then there's women who just woke up one day and we are seeing news, they're here, they're there.
Exactly.
And you're like, I want to do that too.
Exactly.
So are there any women that you know who have set a standard for you? Like,
I think even besides women currently traveling or being a man's thing, I think growing up kitambo, traveling used to be an Ushago thing. Like we are going to Ushago, a December thing.
Because I'm Mlunje, so you know what that means.
Distance.
You know what that means.
Mnabeba vitanda kwa basi.
Tunaenda Ingo. Akamba bas. Swear.
Yeah, exactly. So it never used to be for luxury. At you have money, you're going play. Are you sick in your head? Where?
Yes.
Men used to travel for work.
Yes. Yes.
You're going far away from your family to go work or to fight for freedom. You know?
Yeah.
It's true, man.
So it's fun. I know you agree. So it's funny or really a good thing that people have taken up this thing of I have kidogo chumzi here or actively saving up to travel. Seti, by the way, no, you actively have an account. Hii ni ya kupiga sherehe barabarani.
You know?
Kwenye hewa.
You're right.
It's amazing.
Minus,
yes.
Uko na kakeyare kako hapo ka travel. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and maybe that's why it links to the thing about why girls are traveling more, or why girlies. Girlies are just really being intentional about wanting to travel.
Yeah.
So you find even somebody who would pay, like even you were saying, you can pay for a trip that is maybe even $3,000, $4,000.
Yeah.
But kidogo over 12 months, and it makes sense.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in December, naenda. So you start by January, you're like, minus, pole.
Unlike guys, not
like,
all,
but
many guys would rather chapa sherehe. A boti of JD somewhere, wewe umeshaweka ka down payment mahali.
Exactly.
You know, pole. Then anakuona ukienda na baki, who funds these trips? Our baba ni priorities.
Yes.
I know. It's either she's a rich kid ama kona mubaba's place, mzungu place.
Exactly.
But in reality, wewe ndio mzungu wako, wewe ndio mubaba wako.
Exactly.
You've just been having a sinking fund for the
so
travel.
What about you, Flanure? Do you have ladies that inspired you to start traveling?
Yeah. So actually, when I was starting content, I mean, I started Flanure from zero. That's what people don't know. People think I use my personal page to I started from zero. So then I was following people like, LG Sheiks. LG Sheiks, or there's also a lady who passed on, which was called Travel with Mo. Is it Tembiana Mo?
Oh, yes, Tembiana.
Yes.
Oh, God bless her soul.
Yes, God bless her soul. So then Bonita, and also the reason why I liked Kina Tembiana Mo and LG, they were not those mainstream. Those ones, the Jumbo Jet crew.
They were relatable.
There's kind of an elite travel space within our content space. And then there's ones who are just very relatable.
They were mostly not sponsored by brands, let's say that.
So so brand off the brand.
Off the brand,
those are the ones who really inspired me. So for me specifically, LG Sheiks and Tembiana Mo, and I really reached out to them initially, and I was like, how do you do this?
I know.
How do I grow in this? So those were my initial inspirations. I just remember those two, like within Kenya. So outside of Kenya, I follow some pages like She's Not Lost. There are many nice girly pages for girls who travel.
Oh my God,
they just
people are doing amazing.
Yeah. So you can tell us what you've taken from solo females traveling. What kind of empowerment you've gotten from there?
I think for traveling solo as a woman, there's that happiness that comes with it. Like, man, I'm a woman and I'm doing this. You just feel like I own the world. Freedom has come. There's
Freedom
that. It's coming. Only that it came. Only that you have it. There's that power. But then, we can't definitely say it's all powerful because naturally you're scared. Because even besides you traveling, naturally you in your own home, once unatoka duka, ama nini, when walking or you're jogging or whatever, you're always looking over your shoulders.
Like,
who is looking? I think that's the downside, but there comes that freedom of, oh my God. I can do this, and once you start it, it will be so difficult to shut that fire. Because you're always like, I did this.
I gotta go.
Kesho, I'll do this. In as much as, of course, you're walking on eggshells, it is really empowering. I think that's what I've gathered. I've not done many as a solo, but it's definitely something I'd want to really take up.
But also, solo is relative. I could decide I want to travel alone, but I'm joining a group of
people you don't know.
And I have no idea who they are.
That's what you do. Okay, I've done that so many times. That is definitely
With regards to solo travel, I've mastered the art of, after having so many people, like you've hosted people or you've gone on a trip with many people, that I just take my 2 days later. I think we have also seen you doing that. I think it's you get yourself back. So I feel like the few times I've done solo travel is to try and get to that place of centeredness. Because I think being extroverted or being seen as extroverted, sometimes you really lose a lot of your energy and your peace to groups. So solo travel, I think, gives you that back to center,
it centers
back to core.
And you get to learn so much about yourself. Resilience, your strengths.
You always make friends because somebody will have to take your picture. So that's the blast.
Besides the tripod.
Hey, handsome, can you help me take a picture? Yeah.
You can also use taking a picture as a way to hit on a guy. You know?
And you see, they see you're alone and you're trying, so they'll obviously help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've made so many friends from solo traveling.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's also a way to, I don't know, have control of your time, like decide I want to do this now, and not have to feel like I need to be compliant with other people.
Yes.
You know? And always you're sure that whenever I need to go somewhere, I don't have to rely on anybody else.
Yes, I will go.
Because people, you know those WhatsApp groups,
it can.
where those
the noise is too much.
Yes.
So you plan your own trip.
Yeah.
And the flexibility, you might wake up that morning and you feel like you don't want to do it. You just sleep in.
Yeah, you just sleep in that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much flexibility.
There's
so much flexibility on traveling solo.
Exactly.
Because you go to like, it's my time. I'm dictating everything as I go.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. But then on solos as well, I'm seeing the safety part.
Yes.
Could I give something on safety?
Yes.
So there's I used to do something called Solo Saturday on Flanure. And I know you all spoke about Nyakite, who's our friend.
Yes.
She shared a story of her Dubai experience.
Uh-huh.
And back it made me think about, do I really want to travel solo internationally?
Yeah.
I haven't done it before. Okay, have I traveled solo internationally? Maybe for work, but that's not solo travel because that's,
Yeah.
So she just shared about her Dubai experience and how a certain driver who was assigned to her trip, I think the agent told the driver that she's traveling alone, so he knew. So he made sure that he's dropped everyone and then he's dropping her off. So in between the hotel, and he tried, and she just, Nyakite is she's a wise woman. So she found her way around. I'm not saying she shared the story with us. And it just shook me even sharing it. I remember I was sharing it on Instagram and I'm really crying. And I was like, this is so surreal. You know, it happens to women all the time. I think, and then the more you're happy to shout about your solo travel, the more people get weird about it.
Yes.
So I think that's just one example of a place where it got very frustrating. Yeah, for me personally, I've traveled solo and I've gotten goodwill. I can count very few times where I felt unsafe. But I know it's a very big issue generally.
It is because I feel so sad that men who should protect us or guard us, we don't even need being guarded, because who are we being guarded against? It's the men. You know, I feel so sad. Do you know those are some of the things that most women are scared of? Like, I cannot go alone. If from Thika to Nairobi, I cannot use an Uber. Me naturally using those Ubers and all that, I'm naturally scared. Like, before hailing a Uber, you have to take number plate, unatumia mtu before you disappear without a trace.
And forget about even the Uber, even the matatu. How many times have you sat next to a man in a matatu and they're doing this just to rub their hands on your matatu?
Or even a dick. Me, I've ever used a matatu and his dick was out. His dick was out. And he was GPK trying.
I mean, it's not funny.
He was GPK trying. And you know, uko tu like, ni mimi naona vibaya manini. Then, even if you start screaming, people don't care. There's this time Anita Nderu actually said someone grabbed her boob when she was leaving a matatu. And that has happened to me too. You know, you are there, unaenda kushuka hivi, naturally your boobies are somewhere here. Mtu ni either ana undergrab ama mtu anajifanya ni kushuka, anashikilia matiti yako. Women and travel is not as easy as, it's not glamorous. We'll post funny nice photos, fun looking moments, but in reality kwa ground, you're always shivering, uko tu like, whoa, will I make it? I make it?
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
How do you protect yourself when you're traveling alone? How do you make sure that your safety is protected?
So, I think number one, I encourage men not to post in real time.
Definitely.
So number one, that's Terry, we're already women in the social media space. So somebody will know Violet. Somebody will know at Njokindongo, at Flanure 254. So try not post in real time. And even if you do, you can post the place, but not necessarily the details. Or at least post the next day.
And
then secondly, for me personally, I usually find a hotel staff, either a woman or even a man who I feel like I trust, and just say, by the way, I'm alone. I'm walking down to the beach. So if you see me in a car, just send somebody to look.
To check.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's worked for me so far. And then I think thirdly, when I travel solo, I realize I tend to do less. I don't know people who tend to do more and go more places. So me just say,
it's more like
relax, swim beach, sleep, repeat. So the few solo trips I've taken alone, without anyone, other trips I've just, stayed alone. Or you go online, you hashtag Lamu, for example. You find girls who are traveling alone.
Yes.
You slide into the DM, and then you're now getting enough quorum to do your boat trip together.
What you guys doing?
Yes.
We can catch up.
Yes, and I've never tried that with dudes. Whenever I'm on solo trips, I find which woman is within the same place who's tagging hashtag Lamu, hashtag Zanzibar, and then you. Yeah. So that has really worked well for me.
This is also where you also get questions like Mukona Nani. I don't know about you when you travel with your son, because there's also that aspect of solo travel.
Yes.
And always someone is asking you, akwapi baba?
They always do that.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
Like, do you want the father?
Yeah, I know. Like, what's your problem?
What are you doing this information? Yes. Actually, Violet, you reminded me. There was a time I was doing a partnership with one of the brands. I won't mention the hotel. It was within the city. And we are sleeping at night, and it's just me and Mitch. And I hear a loud noise on the door. And I was so sure somebody had opened the slide door. You know, when you travel, slide doors are very... You easily forget. Like, you don't remember to close them when that would be shut too. And you know,
slide door to the balcony.
To the balcony of the room. Wow. Yes. And you know which is dead asleep. I mean, you know how these kids sleep. And me, I'm so wide awake. And I got so scared. And I just called my brother. You met my brother. Yeah. He was online because, I mean, he works somewhere else. Yeah. I told him, right, bro, there's somebody on the balcony and I'm so sure he's trying to open the door. And it's very dark and I can't see. So, I mean, eventually I waited out for 30-40 minutes. And you know, also, like where the hotel was, those are construction. Yeah. You know, those construction men, when they see you in China, you're taking your selfies, they get very weird later. Yeah. So I was just anyway, but it ended up being paranoia. But I was very sure. So I was like, what would I have done? It's just me and Mitch. And also I'm like, these people probably know it's just me and Mitch, so they'd want to go from them Django and just start causing havoc at night.
It's true.
Yes, that's the one time I was like, oh my God,
so
please, what do I
do? Just the grace of God.
Yeah, sometimes it's the grace of God. But also, there's also the element of, just on a safari too, when I'm to travel, so who will protect you in such cases? So it's like, even if I tell that to the reception, they'd be like, oh no, you know. Yeah, so I was just like,
So what's your problem?
Yeah, but mine was just trauma because in another trip, actually at Flanure trip, one of our slide doors was opened. And some things went missing, and it was not funny. Yes, in Watamu. So I think I still had the trauma of slide doors being open.
Definitely.
Yeah, imagine they didn't take our iPhones, they didn't take our iPads, they didn't take our laptops. They wanted just cash. It was so scary. Yes, we woke up and...
I think having an iPhone sometimes protects you. So they're like,
people are scared.
It was, that was... So I think for me, I had the slide door trauma. So even I think today I usually like slide doors. I have to check 10 times. Is it open? Is it locked? Yeah. So anyway, that was one time was like,
Violet, tell us, how do you keep safe?
So one of the things, like what she said, is always make sure that you post after you leave a place, and also just always letting know someone, like my emergency contact person, where I am every time, like report in the morning, we are leaving here, they have a whole itinerary of where I'm going and what I'm going to be doing, who and if anything happens to me, and always, the same thing, nothing much. I think those are the two basic.
In your case, who is an emergency contact? Like if you're in Turkey, for example, who would have been your emergency contact?
Like I have someone here who I can give
like anytime. So live
anytime they're like, they already know
where
my
you
flight is from here to here. What I will
my bus ride is
so they check up on you. Umefika, umefanya. That makes a lot of sense.
Actually, even my younger sister was telling me usually, ata ukiingia Uber, just send me your location. She said make it normal to be sending where you are.
I know.
Like it actually is.
If not everyone, you need to have that one person who knows
every detail. Ukiamka unasema I've woken up, I'm good, these are my activities for the day.
You're being by a certain person and anafaa kujua umechipoiwa, you're going there.
These are chipo I always send. Like in these travels, I need to do better.
You need to be.
Unatumanga? Za chipo.
I am celibate.
Tufungue Pandora's box.
I am celibate.
I mean, you can be chipon for dinner, just dinner. You can go for dinner innocently. You're having dinner with this guy and he decides to poison you.
Unfortunately, I've not. Okay.
Oh, but in the past,
I'm
you
not
haven't been sending your...
girl. Oh my God. Okay, my safety is knowing your surrounding. Because knowing your surrounding really saves you a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Because even as basic as going out in a club. Joko na kina nani, John ya kina nani wako next kwako. These gigs that people go like live banding and whatever, just know your surrounding. If it's uko nje, jua your next exit should shit hit the fan, unakimbia wapi? Because most times we go to places you're just buzzed in a good, in a good mood. Ukianza kuambiwa elevator iko ile side, you would never know. Because uko too like I'm living in the moment, but that moment, please try enjoy your surrounding, be aware of your environment.
It's
that will save you a lot.
Situational awareness.
Yeah.
In my sector.
Corporate babe. corporate
That's one thing that I've
babe.
also realized that I have a trait in. Even if I go to a club or a restaurant, you'll see me sitting down, but my eyes are everywhere.
Exactly.
You mark the
Be
exits, you mark the
paranoid.
extinguisher.
Yeah, who are they? What kind of relationship do they seem to have? What is their motive here? What are they here for?
Yeah.
Are they here for a lunch? Are they here for a
That's
date?
interesting.
Or what they are there to
exactly.
beba you.
I sit like this and I can tell you almost everything that is going on in
Your
the
their
restaurant because I am
body
aware.
languages unajuanga. Then the other thing is, for me, I carry a pepper spray, and I'm always having a pen in my handbag, because a pen can be used as a weapon, because you can't carry knives like if you're flying and whatnot. But a pen, you can always have
you
that.
can figure out what to do.
You can figure out what to do. Like just try have something that you can fight with, so that you just don't go down without a fight.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or even you can modify some of the things you already have.
Exactly.
Like your perfume can just be,
Exactly. The other thing is, you see how we have the fanny packs?
Yes.
Always don't go watu wa iPhone hazitoshangi kwa mfuko, hazitoshei. Have a funny pack.
Yeah.
Hizo watu wa iPhone fiche kidogo, because sometimes we call too much attention on ourselves. Ile you can rob me. I'm alone. You can rob me. The other thing that my mom has always taught me is, as you walk, please talk to imaginary people.
Fake phone call,
fake
something.
phone calls.
Yes.
Me, like nowadays, when I'm even closing and locking the gate, Nyawera, tutapatana jioni, and saizo boma nimeacha bure.
That's so wow. That's
Yes.
psychology.
Ukitembea kama maybe uko somewhere deep in Uganda and whatnot, and they're looking at this fine babe, like they can pray on you.
Yeah.
You'd rather even pretend you are mad woman. Just talk. Talk to
you're
akina
like,
karaoke.
you're like, husband on the phone. You're just an imaginary husband.
Ati, you're there in that corner. I can see you.
Yes.
The thief is, whoever is preying on you, I'm like, hey, this baby is not alone. Because men do not have the wits. Women, we were born with wits. So use them to your advantage. Me, those ones have worked for me so far.
I had somebody mentioning carry an imaginary wedding ring. I don't know if it's worked. I've never used it before.
Yes.
I've seen many international solo travelers.
But do men really have shame?
Men who prey on married women.
They love you
But then it's easier to say my husband is up there when you have a ring than my husband is up there and you're
looking like
follow
a
you to find your husband.
jockey. You're looking
here.
here.
Husband. It's like just we just newly engaged couple here for our honeymoon.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it is so sad.
Can you imagine?
Man.
I know our friends would not even bother. They'd be like, I'm going for a solo trip. Kaende kakienda. But then for us, you have to plan.
Hata anakunywa pombe analala hapo na next day anajipata hapo.
Can you imagine? I have a friend, he actually owns villas in Nanyuki. Please, if he's watching this, hey, he was saying, akilewanga kuna hii bridge ya Ngara. He will just go and sleep.
Oh, wewe jaribu.
But then nimsea kona dosi ati msiana do. But then my DJ wenu. Anyway.
Hi, TJ.
Imagine he'd always do that. And I was like, oh my God, if I even think about it, even during the day crossing there, when it's full, I feel
cannot.
Nasemanga nendanga tu hapo nalala. Nikiamka tena, I pay whoever is around, I just give him 20, 50 and I go.
Yeah. There's also this thing they say about making sure that you have, I don't know, some extra thing to lock your room.
Oh,
in
yes,
hotels.
yes, I've seen it.
That clip is clipped in.
Yeah.
So someone might have access to the hotel, might have an extra
Yes, an extra key.
Gosh,
but if you don't have that, you can always use a seat. For me, I use a seat. Right. Kitty, movies una watch za nini? Una okay, Kikuyu they say go tira. You support the door, you block the door. That way, hata kama it might not overblock it, you'll hear someone
some
coming.
kind of
commotion.
We are learning.
There's a struggle. But it's so sad that we have to do all these things. And men watching us, do better. Do better.
Whoop, whoop. How does society view women who travel? And that also goes with what are the joys and fears of nomadic life, like a nomadic travel life. So women on the road. So I think it's kind of linked. So how does, actually let's ask, how does the society view women who are always on the road? Who travel?
Yeah.
I think
foremost, we have been categorized as hoes.
That's it. That's where I was going. I was going for hoes. There's a hoes in this house.
These girls are always traveling. Who is paying? Who is paying? Watuoneshe nani amepiga hiyo picha. Gosh, it's crazy. Yeah.
So, there's no female word for Flanure. That means men are the ones who are supposed to travel. So in the past, there are only two women who are seen to travel. Maids and hoes. And that's actually documented in French history. Wow. So there's no even close word to traveler. So there was harlot and there was housemaid. So that was the closest word to traveler. So now people are trying to say Flanure is now the female, but there was no such name. So you see, and that's white history. So imagine in black history, as a woman traveler, you're probably so you're like a spirit of God knows.
You're either traveling with your slave master, as a maid, or you're traveling as an escort.
Exactly.
As a whole.
Yeah.
Scheiße, man.
Yeah, so imagine, and that's so imagine back 19th, 18th century, there was no woman for a female.
Our
traveler.
ancestors
no one for a female
are
traveler.
literally clapping in their graves.
They're clapping, they're twerking. So I think now women who are seen actually even up to date, we're still very few women who travel. It can be a bigger space.
Yes.
But it's good that many of us are documenting it. So we're inspiring the generations of women who will travel and who will document their travels and who will inspire travels. Yeah. So I feel like there's room. But I know like right now we're still seen as toapi pesa. And then also there's, for me as a mom as well, a question that triggers me. So okay, travel when mtoto na nani? I'm like, with the world, for the streets. I mean, what is that question? And it's asked every time. And then for me, I travel both for travel and travel.
I wanted to say that.
I'm like, why would you ask that question? Number one, you're triggering me, and I've gotten through some emotional journey to leave my child at home to do this trip. Yeah. So I'm like, why would you ask me who I'm leaving my child with? What is that question about,
It's so crazy. Every time, even if you're just going out for a lunch or something. And there was a guy who was... told him he has to chipo me, and then the first question he's telling me, what about your son? And I'm like, what has my son got to do with this? You think me telling you to
your
chipo
son
me,
is business?
I didn't factor in that I have a child. Like, are you crazy?
No, I find it so...
This is the Bensol thing, Amma. This is something different.
Something different.
No, I find it so weird that if a man travels and he has 10 kids, no one asks him, una watoto umeachaji, na bibi umeachaji. He's just there pigaing sherehe with other mamas. Hata ulizo official mama ako wapi. They don't care. Yeah. But wewe jaribu tu kwenda. My basic drives. And where is Jamba? Where is the baby?
How do you imagine?
How is that your business?
Yeah.
Some mean well, but I don't think they mean well. I think the society naturally just wants to squeeze the woman to a particular section.
Corner. Yeah.
We should not travel. Because unachera ni mtoto, itabia ni wapi, unaenda kutravel aji. Because so many people do not understand. Ati unatoka, umeenda, kufanya nini, ni kazi? No. Ni mimi nataka kuona vitu. Kuona vitu. Lazima uende.
Nasiweka TV.
They do not understand.
I think also another thing that the society is afraid of is the woman gaining her independence and getting to learn things out of her cultural, the environment that she grew in.
From what she's been told.
Yes. Yeah. Because especially, I'll speak for Kenya, but I assume Africa is the same. Women are expected to be at home, submit to their husband, submit to the society. You're either a woman, your place is at home, and church. That's the place you should go hang out with your friends. And then here we are, we travel, and you meet other cultural places where women are respected. Women are given a right to go and work at home. For example, the women in Saudi now are allowed to drive. So this is what they would do. They would travel to other places to even just enjoy the thrill of driving, just because in their society they're not allowed to do that. So the society is afraid of women just going out there and just becoming independent.
Then this other thing, I don't know the dynamics of how married women travel, because there's that part as well. Umeachia bwana nani? Is he a dog? Because mostly I'd worry about a dog. Not even a child. I'd mostly worry about a dog. Because a dog doesn't know how to talk. Ask me about Tokyo. Tokyo umemwachia chakula maji enough. Ama kwa dog boarding.
And then they're asked by their friends,
Imagine. And you're like,
are you sure she doesn't have someone else there?
Let me just speak as a mom, also as a woman. So nomadic life is very unsettling. So when you're always traveling, it's very unsettling. Like I remember saying my skin would never cooperate because uko maji ya Watamu, uko maji ya Kisumu, uko maji ya Zanzibar, uko maji. So that was, it's very unsettling because you can't keep a routine. So then even if you can't keep out a workout routine, you don't have your friends with you. So you can't share their joys and the sorrows every day. And at some point in my life, like also nomadicized with my son. And for him, it was very unsettling. So when we came back to visit my grandma, I remember telling me this story. His grandma, my mom, told me, hey, mom, I'm staying in Nairobi. If you want to travel, I will need the permission. but it's really ungrounded. I want to build a football team.
Yeah.
I want to, be with my friends. It's like I've made many friends along the way, but there are many and they're everywhere. Yeah. So it can be very unsettling for us as adults, but also for kids, for those who have kids. But even I think individually, it's not even as a mom or as a woman. Yeah. It's just, I think human beings were created with a certain cycle or a certain calendar. So when you break out, it destabilizes you.
It does.
And that's why you're saying it's important for you to do some trips to center yourself.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So that's one of the biggest. Is it a fear?
Fear.
Yeah. It really destabilizes you, and it has to.
It does.
Yeah, even you can have relationships, but they are very short-lived.
Yeah, that's
like I know for me, one thing I'm told when people are looking to date me, but you travel a lot.
Yeah. When are you?
Yes, and also I'm like, it's actually a valid fear though, because some people, like for me, I actually say I'm a river. But
you flow.
I bump into trees, and that's okay. People who just want to stay there, and they've already built their house. They know
there's a permanency to them.
Yeah. And for me, I'm just like, where I go with the flow. They're like, what is going with the flow?
Yeah.
So even my therapist used to say, people who travel a lot also have a fear of commitment.
Definitely.
And I used to be like, bitch, you're wrong. But then I was like, it's actually.
Myself here and I go and find another place where I want to live and stay there, and this person can't move.
The truth is, underlying, there's actually a fear of commitment. So you need to really find things that ground you.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you can also be just hobela.
Yeah. You're everywhere.
People who are size 72, tattoo on the face, backpacking, and they're still looking for purpose.
Yeah.
So I mean, actually, when I see something like Travecha, that's something that will still ground you, even when you're in Ukraine hiking or
I'll be like, I have to take some memories back to Travencha.
Yeah, so that thing that would ground you, I feel like it's very important. It's not a must for everyone, but I feel like as a traveler, find your grounding. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be a place.
It can be, like for me, I put my house being like my grounding place.
Yes.
Like I can go out and do whatever I want, but I have that one place that I'll go back to and chill and be like, this is my home. Yeah, this is where I come and rest and recharge, ready for the next trip. Yeah. But also to add on what you were saying about men, there's a time, I think it was last year during my birthday, and there was this guy who wanted to treat me out for lunch. Not on my birthday, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm traveling for my birthday. I'm going to Bali. He's like, oh, but how do you deny me your birthday? I have to do. And I'm like, it's my birthday.
How do you deny me your birthday?
And it's not even your mother.
Where were you when I was being born?
Yeah. He's like, I would like to take you out for lunch. I'd like to do something for you, but you're just traveling. I'm like, but I want to travel. And he's like, Atuwewe, you need to get pregnant so you can settle. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Mpe mimba atasettle.
So that's what happened to you?
No, but
I had this chat when I was at her house.
Yeah.
So I was like, mpe mimba ndio akae.
Mpe mimba atasettle, atabadilika. Weya, amepata travel buddy. But most men are so insecure about that, and I don't know why. I'd rather they not try change you. Aseme hata yeye atakuwa anakuja to some trips. Because I've seen other married people and they support their wives. You wanna go go.
Yeah.
I don't know, but for me, I really manifest a man who would support and still go with me to some, not all, to some trips, because sometimes you also need your you time.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, but I mean, also we'll have to compromise, because I mean I dated I think I should say one of the best relationships I was in. We really had a good flow. He helped me build Flanure. He was the photography behind all my trips, and but then he just got to a point. It's like, anaenda sana
kwenda anaenda lakini
ameenda sana because his job was grounded where he was. There's only so much he could do. So the much he could do, like maybe a Lamu here,
once in a while.
But then it's like, this girl, he's telling me, again, you've traveled again. It got that point. Is like,
So you broke up because of that?
No, we broke up because of many other issues.
You give him my contacts?
Yeah. And he's good in bed. So yes, I will.
Good in bed is relative.
And mango season is around the corner, so you could benefit from a few mangoes. Anyway, so on our in an ideal world, even we will have to compromise. But your soul will come to. There's a book. You guys know Paulo Coelho, the guy who wrote The Alchemist.
Yes.
He says you'll come to a place called Ithaka. It's like, I don't know what that means in Kikuyu, but Ithaka in his mythical world is a place where you find calm and you find yourself and you're okay with who you are. So I feel like we are still getting there. And you get to a place, Violet, having a man and settling would be a priority, maybe, or even a woman. Let's leave the cards open. And it will be something that you're so keen on, like that you've chased business and you've chased travel and you've chased, motherhood.
Yeah.
You'll come to a place and you're chasing maybe a relationship, or it could be chasing a new for you, like trying to build space. So usually say when it will be there.
Yeah, it will be there.
And it will come.
Yeah, I want to get in a relationship where we have 3 trips in a year planned.
Yes.
One that is family, that is now me, him, and the children, right? And then one that is couple, me and him, and then one that is
just
solo.
You.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go on their own trip solo. Otherwise, we are not going to.
And come back with so many stories.
Yeah, and come, let's share. Hey, what happened? Alafu niambia, and then there was this girl. Hey.
I manifest that a lot, but man, I hope the gods and the cards are in my favor, because me, I need a man to marry me and take me out.
Yeah, but Jackie, you have to compromise. I mean, a little bit. That's like,
no, I totally understand. Everything you have to compromise.
Yeah.
But P, I do not want to feel like I'm always getting the shorter hand of the stick.
I get it. Yeah.
Because naturally the society has deemed women, you will always get the shorter hand of the stick. I'll compromise. I'll get pregnant and we'll travel while I'm pregnant. That's fine. But of course it gets to that age, tulia kidogo, not tulia kabisa, but at least travels are not.
Before we get there, can we enjoy the now? Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But
I agree.
We are on the road, flight mode. Catching flights, no feeling.
I know. So what are some of your fears, or it's the same? Because me, I told her, okay, me, I touch on the joys. It's having a best friend for the night or a best friend for the day. Unafungua roho, unafungua boot, unafungua bonnet.
Boots!
No.
Turudi kwa boots.
If the boots requires to be open, can it be open?
No, that boots. You. Just having that moment with someone, you fall in love with them, with your whole being, without you fearing. Kesho ataku troll. Ama sijui una need kumbeba na mizigo zake, uko tu hapa tunapeana mizigo, then from there kila mtu aende. It is so liberating. It is amazing.
And one of the things that I'd like to touch on is the joy of meeting travelers on the road as well, because you start gelling in. Nobody cares where you're from, what you do,
how much
your culture.
How much is your worth? We only care about, how did you get here? It's so far. Where are you from? I'd like to visit sometime. And then you always get travelers who are like, if you ever come to my country, call me.
I know.
It's amazing. It's amazing the connections that we make on the road.
The love is always real. The love is always real. I love the beauty thing about solo traveling. You're really never alone. You're really never alone.
Really never
Wherever you're going, you'll always pick someone. You'll always find people.
I think that touches on sexism to sisterhood. Where you now start creating deep bonds among your traveling friends from this kind of stories of where I went through this, don't go to this country because this happened. So you're turning sexism to sisterhood on the road.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You definitely have to, when you meet with these people, they're like, I traveled to this place. For example, the story about the girl who was in Zanzibar.
Those Zanzibar stories. Oh, man.
That's the hotel I stayed in when I was in Zanzibar.
Oh, my God.
I was just like, it was around the same period. Luckily, that time I traveled with a friend.
Okay.
Friend.
Hi, friend.
Because at the same time I was with Jay in Zanzibar at the same time. So I was like, wow, what if it happens? And then today it's such a crazy world that even when people break into the hotel room and you're with a child, you're not even just worried that they will rape you. They will rape
both of you.
Oh my God,
yes. It's a crazy world now.
It's a crazy world.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe. Man.
So the question is asking, what connects these adventurers beyond their shared love for exploration? So what are some of the things that connect women on the road? So one of them is that.
Yes. Like when I met you, I remember we were hiking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is a crazy mother and a crazy son. I told her my son is around this age. I mean, he's just would never bother to hike. But also I'm like, he's bolder than me. Like Jay is bolder than me. He's running down the hill and me, I'm just taking selfies from up there. And that's how did you guys start doing this? And I remember her throwing him off the waterfall and I was taking the videos. And that's how I got your number. I'm like, I'll send you the video.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Gosh, it was
so for us, we
amazing.
bonded over having sons around the same age. And who also now are friends.
Yeah.
Interestingly now.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, so, and I mean, she was hiking and they're just so fearless. I told Violet, maybe where I grew up, we grew up on flatland. So you get at Mlima Hivi, I'm just like, yeah, and then it was rainy-ish and they were running and I was just like,
amazing.
and then you get to the pipes and they're just balancing on their own. Me, I'm being held by God and those 3 men. And I was like, maybe one day when I grow up, I will be like them. I will be like them, you know? Yeah, so, I mean, even me and Jackie, we've talked over the years.
We have.
We've met probably over drifts 1 or 2, but then we bonded because of baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's where we bonded.
Yeah,
so
like even
much.
for me to come to your place and you live, God knows in which country. Which country do you live in? Oh, but she has a passport, not a boarding pass.
Where? Naishi mbali.
Wow.
Nje ya boda.
Unaishi karibu na my in-laws.
I know.
Haye? Sekai.
I should learn. The other thing is, I'd say trauma. Most of these people, like you'd talk about people who hike, whatever. Someone would just tell you, I started for my mental clarity because I was too depressed. I almost unlived myself, so I needed to be out. And once you talk to them, you just get to experience, like, you see your life in their story. Like mine, I had this darkest moment, but once I'm outside, I get to live, I get to breathe. And I've experienced that a lot with so many people, and that's how we've bonded.
Yeah. You and I feel like hiking is the best. And not just hiking.
You can't relate?
Traveling. No.
This is me choking, but I'm like,
Being outdoors. I mean, being
outdoors
with fellow outdoorsy people.
Yeah.
Because now everybody just starts being so deep.
Yeah.
You start having conversation, and they're not shallow conversation. They're always very deep
Very
conversation.
deep,
You're
very
like,
deep.
oh yeah, things are gonna get better.
Yeah.
Things are gonna get better eventually. Yeah.
and it's in that moment. Like you never go up and say, V, by the way. If it does, but mostly it's just you open up and you leave.
In that
You find yourself
moment,
just
you
letting
let
it
nature
go.
take it.
It's really amazing. And also
Yeah.
there are people who just bond over food.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
let's travel to go and eat. That's it.
I know.
Yeah, super duper.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's very
what's the next
interesting.
one?
So our next point is exploring the next generation and encouraging girls to explore the world. So for these, we are mom of boys, but still we are
Amongst the boys,
Yeah.
Wow.
But I can give an example.
but still we are adored by girls elsewhere.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
We are mentors.
Yeah. But also we are setting a good foundation for our sons because
Yes.
for them they know that women are
And
allowed to be
to-
out there.
out there.
Yes, they are allowed to travel and have as much fun as they want. So their wives will
Exactly.
be very like, I'm going somewhere, and they're like, baby,
Sure,
go,
have
go,
fun.
go,
Live your
have
life.
fun.
Live your life.
Not
babe.
just go,
Yes.
unataka how much?
By the way, how can I facilitate you to travel?
Yeah.
How well can I help that
I'm a
girl?
baby, you're looking so stressed. How about a trip to, you know?
Take my card,
Like,
baby.
baby, last night, that fight wasn't you. Take this.
Go release
Jockey.
some pressure elsewhere.
Which vlogs are you watching?
The Lulu.
Was not you. Take this.
The Lulu. Is
Say
there
the
some
Lulu.
Lulu?
Violet asked me earlier how I started hosting girls. So I think I didn't start hosting girls, but just by sharing what you do,
Yeah.
then inspires people. So actually, usually I say, initially I would host maybe girls between 25 to 35. That's usually the age of people who are really willing to spend, and I think that's the age group we're in. So it's gotten low over time. You find a 19-year-old who's really saved and says, Yanni, I've saved my pocket money and I really wanted to travel.
Yeah.
So then I may save 5K, 3K. Back, it even becomes a logistical nightmare. But then you're like, she's trying to break norm and to go outside her comfort zone to do something.
Yeah.
So you mean if we didn't have the Flanure spaces or the Violet or then Jockey Bubbles, then these girls would not have those spaces then to
Of knowing women.
because otherwise she would just be seeing, sorry to say, these safaris or G Bountiful or what God knows, 50K, and she's like, and then you don't know where you're going with who. If you're not 6 people, you can't go. So I think by sharing content and by sharing these spaces, then we are making access to travel for younger and younger girls possible.
It's encouraging.
It's encouraging,
I think also we should make sure that not necessarily traveling to touristic destinations and international destinations. It's also just leave your village, leave your block for a minute. You have another aunt who lives in another village elsewhere. Leave for a month and see something different.
Go
see how
visit.
they do their things differently. Yeah. Maybe they cook their ugali with a bit of butter and milk. Yeah. Go and try. Maybe it's totally different. Yeah. Others cook githeri with modokoi. Modokoi is there.
The
Maize
chickpeas
without...
are-
No,
the shell
the
maize.
maize without the shell.
Yeah, and
I'm
you're from
The
Kinangop,
husks.
you eat a lot of waru and dry maize. So travel.
Why do you do dry maize like this?
Yeah, it's dry maize. Because dry maize is Muluya now. Mujulubeng.
5 alive.
To all the Luya men. To all the Luya men.
The secret from Mujulubeng is dry maize. That's why wanasiagisha mani.
Mahindi ya posho.
I'm Luya, I'm raising a Luya man, my friend.
Hey, you have experience. People should stop living in a bubble, yeah? And especially young girls. If you have a girl at home, just encourage her to leave, go and stay with their auntie. Yeah. Let her see something
different from the usual.
Yeah.
I love that. But then there's this fear of same thing of women sending your girl to a relatives. They are quote unquote sodomized, not even quote unquote. I think, of course, parents should be aware those things can happen.
Yeah.
Take them to places that you feel they are genuinely safe. If you're sending them away. If you have younger sisters, always take them with you on your travels. They'll get to learn. Show people your pictures. Share your stories out there, like the way we do. That is like on your photos on Abaki when I grow up or when I get some kidogo money.
Or let them join these youth groups, for example, in churches or schools. Some camp trips for them. So they travel.
Churches do a lot.
That's how you started traveling.
I agree.
Exactly
Me and my big sister, through church camps. It was actually very fun. And also, well, you could argue safe space. I think some people have had bad experiences, but
definitely. Most.
Yeah, but it was also a nice space to start in because you also get to meet all these kind of people
and to see something outside what you know.
That kababble of maybe at your home there's always a house girl doing everything for you, but once you go to youth camp or brigade camp, you get to wash your own panties. You get to do. You run for your meals. Naturally, you're used
if
to.
If you're late, you miss.
Or food time is gone.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that.
Can you talk about career breaks and sabbaticals?
Yeah, because I think you should touch on that. You took a break at some point. No,
but we nataka tuanze na wewe. I remember when we were here for the launch and was it the launch? And you're telling us we were talking about school and masters.
So basically me being in high school, I would see everyone is like, especially where you're approaching to do your KCSE, you have to like start choosing which universities you want to go to, what you want to major in, because you now have to structure the way you perform towards that. And everybody is there waking up in the morning at 4 a.m. going to sleep very late in the evening. And me, gengelea kulala hivi kilia to bed. Everybody wakes up and goes to class in the morning. Mimi naendelea kulala. In fact, time ya kuamka, I am still sleeping, telling my bedmate, ukiamka, spread my bed vizuri, because I was sleeping in a bed which is springy.
Yes.
So you sink inside the spring.
Yes.
So I tell her, just spread my bed sheets. Vizuri. So the matron would come through and I'm like, hey, kitanda imetengenezwa vizuri. There is someone sleeping there.
She's sprung in.
So then I have to open the dorms for them to come and eat at lunchtime. Anyway, so for me, I knew I am never going to university, because for me, sitting down and studying research after research.
Wasn't it?
Nah, not my portion. So that's it. I'm never going. No. I can't.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I think in my family, I come from a family of scholars. My mom, my dad, PhDs, masters, Kina Rosie. Yeah. But for me, I mean, I did my degree like a good girl. Anyway, so I've been working in the humanitarian sector. So I think in 2020, I told you guys I began Flanure just as a blog, and then Instagram, and then it took its own wings and legs. So in 2021, I decided, I think I can take a break from employment. Not because I had plan, no, I just felt tired of employment. So whether I had money or not, I did not have a plan, by the way. I remember telling guys, see what you save at 1 year. So just go with the flow. So I was like, first I'll have to look for ways of beefing up income, so maybe host a bit more trips, try and do more marketing. And I just traveled for a year, and it was really nice. I hosted people. That's when I hosted yours. It was within the 1.5 year breaks. So it was very, my parents were like, msichana, is she serious? They were like, what?
You want to travel?
My dad told me, I remember on June 1st, because I quit on June 17th, I talked to my dad and told him, he came to my house with my sister. My house, not my house. With my sister.
My house where I host
my house. Yes. So I just told him, Dad, I moved from this ex place to a new one. And I didn't feel like the culture was agreeing with me. But also I realized if you're moving, it doesn't mean that you're moving because you want a new place. It's just that you're tired of employment. Because I'll move to the place C, D. I was like, let's see what's on the other side of not knowing where your next thing comes from. And you're also not like broke. Okay, you could be broke, but you have something that will feed you and your child for the next few weeks. So I gave myself 4 months. So 1.5 years later, Now, the place I worked for initially, they called me. And they were like, hi, Hangai, there's something that's come up and everybody's saying you're the one who can do it. You're the one who can do it. So I said that was a sign also that the universe is like, it's time for you to move on to employment. Because me, I was just chilling. I was like, I could push this. Let's see. Yeah.
Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, let's see where it goes. So when it came, I was like, I didn't look for a job, I didn't apply, and they thought of me. So it means I still have a skill to give in the sector I work in that is still needed. And also, I mean, like I'm young. I can build Flanure, I can build my humanitarian sector, and even I can learn new things. Like, I mean, I helped Violet serve tables.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I
you
mean,
are good at balancing.
my friend, but at the point I was just like, Chukweni. Luckily, it was the Zuluist and Kina Abna. I was just like, you guys, I'm done with the smiles. And I remember Sanchesa was helping me, and I'm just like, pa! I remember dropping the last place, like, have your dessert in man. I didn't even tell Violet, but I'm like,
I'm a disappear,
But then can we acknowledge that all those choices sometimes comes with a privilege, with an aspect of
oh my God, I wish we
privilege?
began there. Actually, I want to tell you, Njoki, we need to start with that, with privilege.
Yeah.
So maybe, can we mention our privileges? Because we can't, we all have privilege. And I feel like many times women are not open with their privileges. So you see somebody and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was Violet, or I wish I was Njoki,
and hating
or I wish I was
yourself,
Yes.
hating yourself that you do not travel as
oh my
much.
God, yeah. So there's definitely a level of
You do not
privilege.
eat out as much.
Yeah. So let me start with mine. I can start with this is my top 5 privileges. Okay. Number 1, I've had my nanny for over 6 years. For mothers of nowadays, people will be like, 6 years is like 10, you know.
And she's to 1 month.
Yeah. Sorry, bitch, I can't relate.
And I divorced. I was like, I'm done with house girls. It's been 3 months alone.
Really?
Yeah.
Since the one I left. I didn't know she left.
Immediately after a paycheck. And I'm not even toxic. She left me.
No, Njoki,
are you not?
I am not. I don't.
Well, I neither agree or disagree. But with nannies, so that's what I think. And then she's very okay staying.
I love her.
Yes. And then my second privilege, my son also found his purpose early. So he knows anybody, we go for family holidays and leave him home. He's like, I have football on Sunday and Saturday, so you guys go take photos. You're coming back on Sunday, June. We'll have dinner together. So when he fitted into his own routine, it made me relax more. So I can live my life better. But imagine if you had a person who does not understand. It would be it would be at the back of your mind, he's not happy, Emma, you're carrying him just because, So I think I'm so happy that he found his purpose at a very young age. And I hope he'll be the next Messi or Ronaldo coming soon,
He will be.
He will be.
And then thirdly, I come from a family of travelers. So my parents have hiked Longonot, Kili, Kenya.
Wow.
Both my mom and my dad.
I love it.
Yes.
You need to go to Kenya because of that.
Chopper. I'll go on a chopper.
Adropiwe, achukuliwe,
No, you know how we do? Yes. After the juicy, I was telling Kina Gishuru, they were supposed to go to, what's the name?
Rutundu.
And I told them you won't make it. But Nkita Chopper, and they could not make it. I was just like, they're told the road is closed, the Menyeshan, Kambia, Lambia to get on a chopper. Siliwambia. So they just called me Hangai. I'm like, guys, let's do the soft life, please. So I think that's my third privilege. I come from a family of travelers. And then my big sister, you've met her. She's a traveler. And actually my first time to go to the States was because Rosie really pushed me to go. And we went with her. And the second time, and we've traveled a lot across the world with my sister because she was ahead of me and she was also really curious about traveling.
That's beautiful.
The international space. So we really traveled a lot and she supports Flanure entirely. Every realize she will share. She's come for one of my trips. She's recommended her friends. She'll always talk. I mean, she even did a paper article on me. I mean, I didn't even know. I was like, oh my God, my sister. Nice. So family is a family of travelers. And then fourth, I'm working, so I have some level of capital. Or rather, I also have a business, so that's some level of privilege. And then lastly, I think also, like I remember when I was starting my blog to write, I told myself, Hangai, you're a good writer and you're a good speaker and you're a good communicator. So people will buy whatever shit you're selling. Even if it's a trip to toy market, people will be like, yo!
We are buying.
I think you can sell a skin of ice.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, guys, this is ice.
Yes.
Forget about this one.
Exactly.
This is a legit.
So I remember telling myself, you can write, you can convince anyone, so do it. And I was like, do it scared. So I think those are my top 5 privileges that I think I can't say I don't have. So those are things that have at least made my travel journey easier.
That's beautiful.
I know there are people who, for example, they don't pay rent, so they're still living at their parents, but they can travel more. So I think it plays out differently for different women.
What are yours?
One of my privileges is just that rent. I don't pay rent now. Since I built my house. That
she built a house.
House owners only.
Yeah, so that rent responsibility is off, and now the rent that I used to pay, the money that I used to use for rent, I can use that for travel. So that's one. And second, I have businesses that I'm running, so at least I have a flow of income where I'm like, I can take a break a week and go and enjoy. I'm not reporting to anyone. I don't need to ask for permission. Yeah. I think those are my biggest privileges, and also my son is also very
into travel.
Yes,
he's also into travel.
Yeah, he's also into it. So be like, let's go do this. Let's go have some fun. So it's that. I think those are my 3 top priorities.
And also, I guess for you, your personality as well. Like, you're not somebody who just sits.
Yeah, I'm not.
So you'd find a way of making it work. Yeah. So it's like, after come and go on a hike by the river, I will go and I'll make it look sexy.
Gosh, let me tell you, the last 3 months running this place to adventure, gosh, I feel like I'm in a cage.
I can imagine. You're like, let me just. One day soon. Yeah.
Okay, for me, I'd say family, because for one, I don't have to worry about paying black tax, because there's so many people out there who have to care for so many people. For me, my little monies are mine. And even when my monies are dry, I'd be given.
Hello, last born.
I'm not even a last born.
Are you not? I'm not even a last born. You have younger siblings?
I do have a younger sister.
Like step or real?
Real.
Oh, I didn't know, Jockey. I don't know why I picked her safe. Okay.
I hear you call Mama and Baba.
Baba. You know my Baba, my mama.
Mommy and Baba. Are you looking to?
I'm like, who are these mamas and babas?
Not like that. No, they're not. At least I don't have to worry about so many things. Then sources of income. My business used to do so well. It still does. Now, temenye nimeenda kwa, what is it called?
Subaru.
No, the entrepreneurship, it's still doing well, so at least I get support there. And then I didn't have a baby who expected money from me. Now I do.
Now you're traveling.
Yeah, but that was a privilege.
It was a privilege.
Has gone higher.
Yes, you know. So you have to entrepreneur more.
I'm yet to experience that part.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I still do, but we'll figure it out. Then I had the privilege of time. My work was so flexible. So nikisikia ni Monday ndio huku kuta happen. Nikisikia ni this holiday huku kuta happen, and ni low season, everything happens. So I think those are mine. What else? I think those are, and then my family is a family of people who love to travel. They're always here and there, like everywhere. So hakuna mtu manakuangalia, like my nuclear family no matter. No one judges you ati mbona unaenda huku. Traveling is not important. Wote wako like, please, by all means. And plus I think hiyo kupata tu kapesa, the financial part, and being able to save kidogo. And then growing up, I had friends who used to travel. So exposure. So you already know.
Some level.
You already know what travel means. You're not culture shocked. Ati nimepanda basi nimeenda Busia peke yangu. Panda brother. Panda kakiendanga.
Tafuta waluya huko mbele.
Exactly. So I've never been scared at just traveling solo, because the grounds zenye tulianza nayo has always been that. Unaweza toka uende. Unaweza fanya hivi uende. So I think those are mine. So, and I think it's really good for people to acknowledge their privileges. Because they are these very, I don't want to call them trust fund babies. Because I mean, it is what it is. Unaona mtu ameenda unamwambia, how do you do it, like in a genuine manner. Teach me how to save, because actually you need, some people need teaching on how to save. How do you do it? Prioritizing. Teach me how to do things your way. I might copy, or I might at least learn 1-2 things from there. People should be open to telling people, I don't save. My parents are rich.
True.
I don't save.
Be honest.
My
my
man funds it. Actually, even the other privilege is I've dated boyfriends who are good at travel. Like not all, but a good number of men who are like kaende kakienda. I got money. I just show up, baby girl. I'm still manifesting. You know, that's such a privilege. Kupata mtu anaweza kufanda. You know, so things like those, people should be, we need to start acknowledging that. Ndio watu wasijiue ama auze fridge akisemanga Morocco must happen.
And also you reminded me, like for me I have friends, if I say now, if I text them twende Naivasha ama twende Arusha kesho, we will go.
Because monies are there.
So I have friends who, I mean, we are in our 30s, we have money. So it's not like people who are 24 and they're trying to...
You zoom in that part here, we have money. Me money find
Lakini
me.
Ruto usinikujia. No, see, at least we have money that we can just say sour 20. We don't have to plan 3 months. Yeah.
As we wind up, can we also touch base on how people assume now that you are traveling a lot, you have so much money at disposal, and now they call you in, I need you to help me with this, and they expect you to stop everything you're doing, cancel your trip.
Kwanzaa, maybe after this, I'm sure there's one person who's borrowed both of us money. I'm very sure. Anyway, jail story. and I know you be like, yeah.
Me, I think on that, your emergency is not my priority. Just because you see me out there, I've prioritized that. And I'm sorry, I do not do money lending business. Because the money I have is for me. You are not part of the budget. Of course kuna zile emergency ka kifo unarushia mtu ikikuyu semwe shumare hiyo ya msiba that is fine. But coming at Njoki, do you have a loose 50k? Yes, I do, but it's not for you.
Or someone will be like that. Tumekufiwa sijui tuko na nini, and then you say, I'm sorry, I don't have any money right now, because genuinely
I actually don't have.
But there's a trip that you paid earlier in the year, and it's coming through. I will go because I'm not getting refunded,
and I will not be shy about posting it.
I'm going to go. Like, hello, can you allow us to just leave? I'm not judging you when you go and sit in a bar and order your
drinks
and
green label and have the ladies dance with the fireworks.
What's that people do nowadays? Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know at what point people equated traveling to money. And that's what I say. When you see somebody traveling, ni shida zako zinakupeleka huko.
You know?
Yani you want to run. Like I remember when Violet went for her, is it the yoga retreat after the and she was talking about an experience with bed bugs. I was just like, yo,
hizo bed bugs I still have marks today. Hizo bed bugs.
And I was telling Violet, at which point did you decide you not leave that trip? I could not understand. I was just like, it was fun, but the bed bugs. And I
didn't know about the bed bug, because when a bed bug bites you, it's not like a mosquito, you don't feel it until
and then
3
later,
days after.
Then you have like
3 days I'm like, why am I getting these pimples? I'm like, maybe the allergy. I'm like, I'm allergic to something. I'm telling them, change my smoothies. It's not working for me. Until I started seeing things jumping off me. And I'm like,
And also, by the time you're going for that yoga retreat, you're looking for something. You're off your internet, you're off your usual things. So you say, by the time you're seeing a travel Amanda, you're looking for things that you can't even find.
You might be running away from shit at home.
You're really looking traveling is actually a lot of looking and searching. That's what people don't get. So it's not necessarily that I have the money. Even, by the way, funny thing, and actually it's a true thing, many travelers are in debt. And that's a fact.
It can also get to that point where it's addictive to get to that point.
So I mean, it's people looking for things. So they would even rather go into debt to look for whatever they're finding. The same way people would get car loans because they want the best subi. The same people would get into mortgages because they're looking for settling. You know.
So I can look for sponsorship because I want to hit
and it's
the
just
road.
not Kenyan travelers. It's just the people who are travel addicted, and it's their, what do you call it? Their kryptonite.
Okay, so now we wind up, right?
We need to.
So Flanure will tell us where we find you in terms of the socials. Where we need to subscribe. Where we send money.
How you need us to support you.
All right, thank you, ladies, for having me. It's been really nice.
Welcome.
And I'm happy that at least with both of you, we usually have this conversation. So it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. Where to find me? On Instagram, on TikTok. I'm at Flanure254. I have an X account, but I X'd it because X is a toxic thing. So I don't use it much. I think I repost once in a while, just something random. Yes.
The link to your blog, we will put it on description box.
Yes, I'll also share. I've done very few blogs, and I want to write more. I feel like writing really releases the soul. So I have a blog. I've done a few blogs on women in travel, mentorship, different places I've traveled to. So I'll also share the link to my blog, but it's Flanure254 Journeys. At WordPress.com.
We'll put the handle there.
How to support? I mean, when we share content, share it with your people, interact with it and give honest feedback, ask questions. I also plan trips. I'm not doing group trips for now, but if you have your family that's going to the coast, wants to go out of the country, wants to do a safari, wants to plug places in Nairobi, throw that our way. Nice. And I mean, also looking to work with brands. I mean, I do very good content.
She does.
Hotels, flights, phones, mubabas. Just call us. And all my contacts on my Instagram page. So if anyone needs to reach out, they can also reach out through that.
That's
and
that's
I'm very responsive. So.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
It's been
so
fun.
Guys, we've come to the end of our session today. It was fun. I loved having you.
So much fun.
Thank you for inviting me.
Fire.
You know I've crossed oceans to come here, literally.
I know.
And I'm happy my tummy has behaved as well.
Yeah.
Utapona.
Asante.
Ni either upone
Ama nipone.
ama ulete
Mtoto.
jamba
Jamba sister. Jamba wife.
Yes, Jamba's wife.
Wow.
The pressure.
Yeah. So guys, subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. At
Share.
Escapades, yeah.
Yes.
Share.
Subscribe.
Turn on the notifications.
But yes.
Yes, that's true.
Bell.
And also, how did you guys get the name? I know you're obviously white woman.
Yeah.
And then, So
It's
did you already have a podcast that was already going by that name?
I had started creating a website where I wanted to start.
I remember,
blogging, which is
yes,
called
I remember,
White Woman
yes.
Escapades, which we're going to turn it now to be a page for, and that's why it came in.
Yeah,
I was like,
okay.
should turn this into a podcast. Yeah, and who better to host it with? Than
I know,
this
that's
ratchet
okay.
woman.
I'm not Rashay, I'm
Rashay.
She's Rashay with a Quutette.
Rashay. Classy
Classy
Rashay. So
Rashay.
guys, bye-bye.
Bye, it's been amazing.
Bye.